5:03 this morning. Today is the day America decides the future of our country, from the presidential race to statewide races and our local elections. And millions of you have already made your voices heard by voting. Well, according to the Associated Press, a whopping 77 million Americans early voted in this year's general election. And according to the Texas Secretary of State, 9 million came from Texans casting their ballots early. Well, that makes the stakes in the presidential race even higher, with Vice President Kamala Harris and Democratic Party and former President Donald Trump and the Republican Party hoping to clinch 270 delegates tonight. Well, right now, Vice President Kamala Harris is energized for Election Day. Last night, she held her final campaign event in Philadelphia. VP Harris encouraged people who have not voted to get out and vote today. Pennsylvania will be a vital part of the election outcome because the state has 19 electoral votes, the highest of any battleground state. Well, Harris told supporters that she represents a new generation of leadership for America.
America is ready for a fresh start, ready for a new way forward where we see our fellow American not as an enemy, but as a neighbor. And we are ready for a president who knows that the true measure of a leader is not based on who you beat down, but based on who you lift up.
Well, right now, preparations are underway on the campus of Howard University. That is where Vice President Harris will spend election tonight. This is where she went to school as an undergraduate, and she said this is where she first found her love of politics, as she could become the first woman elected president. Well, meanwhile, Republican Donald Trump made his last pitch to voters from Grand Rapids, Michigan, hoping to get votes from people who see his vision for the country. Well, last night, Trump projected confidence that he will be back for another term, pointing to higher Republican turnout in early voting compared to past elections. He also reminded his supporters about topics like border protection and inflation, continuing his promise to make America great again.
We're going to turn our country around. I will end inflation very quickly. You know how we're going to end it? By drilling and drilling and drill. Energy is going to bring everything down. Energy is going to bring it down. And I will stop the invasion of criminals coming across our border. I will strengthen our military. I will restore peace in the world. And I will rescue the American dream. We're going to have the American dream back soon. Together, we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. And we will launch the most extraordinary economic boom the world has ever seen.
Well, later this morning, Trump is expected to vote in Florida, and tonight he will speak to supporters at the Palm Beach Convention Center.